I've put together a list of 10 workout songs in Just Dance 2023 edition that I, as a personal trainer, think are particularly effective. There are about 40 songs in the base game depending on where you are in the world, and there are some varied intensities and lots of different movements, and I think there's a lot of really cool aerobic workouts that you can have with this game. Now, I'm not touching any of the Just Dance Plus stuff because I don't want this to be dependent on paying for an extra subscription service, and some of these are already in the Just Dance workout playlist, but I think there are also some better ones in the game. So let's get into it, and these are in no particular order. We're going to start with a good warm-up song, Physical by Dua Lipa. Physical is arguably one of the main workout songs in the game, and the standard version is great for warming up. There's even a small dynamic stretch at the start, and you have some shadow boxing, small jumps running on the spot, a bunch of hip flexion and extension, and moves getting you to the ground. It's got a decent BPM, and it isn't too explosive that it would realistically cause injury, so I think this is actually fantastic for getting into a workout. And I think the makers of the game would agree with me with this because it's actually the first song you do in the Just Dance workout playlist. But this next one is not on there. It's Toxic by Britney Spears, the extreme version. The song has a high amount of movement from the arms and it's relatively intricate. It's quite fast though, so combined with shifting your body around, it does maintain a higher heart rate. There are also parts with bending over and getting to the floor, which uses the legs pretty well and make for a well-rounded full body song to work out to. The next one is If You Wanna Party by the Just Dancers. This original song has a great party vibe, which is great for motivation, but more importantly for us, you have heaps to do. There's lots of jumping, knee lifting, arm movement with rotation and circumduction from the shoulder joint. There's actually plenty of action to get involved with, and it's all very rhythmic, which is awesome and makes it easier to follow along with. This doesn't spike your heart rate particularly high at any point, but it's got good, easy full body movement that's pretty accessible, even if you can't dance like me. So I think this is a great one for the list, and I've got to say it regularly makes my workout in Just Dance 23 edition. Another one from the workout playlist is Electric Avenue 8-bit version. This is the song I actually dance first to in the game, and I think the 8-bit version is great as a workout. There are lots of cool moves and lots of jumps. These go from small to explosive to one-footed, and along with some good stretches at the shoulders and a burst of more activity, I think this is just great as a workout. It can create little peaks with the heart rate as well, and it's got some side bends and some stretching as well, which gives it a little bit of a flexibility angle, but is also pretty good for body coordination as well. The next one on the list is Telephone, Seated by Lady Gaga. This is a relatively active song for the arms and hands, but you'll note that this is a seated version. I think of the seated songs in the base game, this is the most active of them, and is therefore an accessible aerobic song for lots of people, including those with mobility issues, and that's why it definitely deserves a place on the list for a workout. Lots of hand movements and leaning makes it as active as possible, but yeah, it's really accessible, which is cool. Any of the seated workout songs, which I think there are 3 in the base game, would be pretty cool for those who are mobility challenged, but I think this is the most active of them. Next is Rather Be by Clean Bandit featuring Jess Glynn. This one makes the list for being a fun song in general, but also using the intricate movement in more interesting ways. The quick body movements involve some hip and ankle articulation, it uses a fair bit of knee flexion, and there are little tree pose-esque movements which all add up and have a flexibility and function feature to this song. The repeated jumps work for some explosive ankle movement, and there is enough movement overall to keep the heart rate up, albeit not generally as high as other songs. It's a good one to add in midway through once you're warmed up. Next up is Playground, the song with Jinx from League of Legends. This one was off the list, but after replaying it a couple of times, I noticed there are lots of big, deliberate movements in the song, and it uses a fair bit of stretching and then exploding into different moves, and after the middle 8, there's quite an aerobic section that simulates a bit of running. The chorus uses hip and knee flexion together, making this surprisingly good on your core. It's worth going in and trying, but make sure you're warmed up first and you'll find a good full body workout with some great moves in here, albeit it could be a bit of a difficult one for beginners to do well. Number 8 on this list is Wannabe by ITZY. This is a great workout song for a couple of reasons. It's a fun, energetic song that motivates you, but also you're nearly constantly moving. It's often small with foot movements and little arm movements or shoulder sways, but the constant rhythm and constant movement really keeps your heart rate up when you need it, and the chorus has some great little squat-esque moves. The middle 8 features a bit where you need to get to the floor, which can be a little bit difficult for those with limited mobility, and also it is a little one-sided, you're only really going down onto one side. You're not repeating it a lot though, so it's not too bad, but yeah, this one is a very fun workout. The next song is Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake, and this continues the near constant movement feel, but it's a little easier, a little bit more full body, less intricate, so it's much more accessible. There are some slow, larger arm sweeps mixed in with little jumps and rows, the knee lift and stomp section in the middle 8, and a lot of exaggerated, easy to follow moves. It's aerobic enough to raise your heart rate, making this a good move for the beginning of a workout, but it can fit in anywhere really. Finally, we have Boy With Love by BTS featuring Halsey. There is also an extreme version of this one on the workout playlist, and whilst it gets your heart rate up, I think the range of movement being more intricate creates that extremeness, and as far as full body movement and range of movement goes, you get a better workout with the standard version. There's plenty of lateral movement, fast steps and some jumps added in, and 3 different routines with fairly different parts to keep the workout fresh. It's worth noting as well that the main parts that make it a better workout in my opinion are the bits that all 3 are doing at the same time, so you're not going to miss out depending on which version, which dancer you go with. And those are my top 10 workout songs for Just Dance 23 edition. Each are great for general movement with an aerobic focus and have more dynamic moves like jumping, squats and getting to the floor to create variation and use a lot of essential functions for the body. If you wanted to create your own workout with these, start with Physical or Can't Stop the Feeling and end with Toxic, Playground or Wannabe, with the rest of the order up to you. So which is your favourite song to work out to? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. Thanks to my patrons like Rain and Sick Hippie for the amazing support they send through Patreon. Keep up to date and keep subscribed for more Just Dance 23 content. I'm Master Trainer Peter, and I'll see you in the next video.